Saki here and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking all about Chanel. So as you may know, Chanel has just had a huge price increase. I mean, really big, and a lot of YouTubers are talking about this topic. I wanted to address this a little bit at the end of this video, but I mainly wanted to talk to you guys about how you can actually make money from Chanel. So I know this is a popular subject and everybody always says Chanel is an investment. I actually have a really similar video that I'm going to link down below, but it's a little bit outdated, so I thought I would make a new one. But I really wanted to explain to you guys how you can actually make money from Chanel and also give you some of my personal stories and what I've seen on the internet. I thought this would kind of be a great time to do this video because as the Chanel price increases are happening and we are spending more money at Chanel, I thought it would be cool to share with you guys how you could actually regain some of that money back. So if you are interested in watching this video, please stay tuned, and if you're also interested to know what I think about the price increases and what I'm doing with my own collection, please stay tuned to the end. And if you've never seen me before, hello, my name is Saki. I make videos every single week about luxury fashion. I really love handbags, so if you like that sort of thing, you definitely belong here. So please subscribe to my channel, and let's get started with the video. So I've actually come up with 3 major ways that I think that you could actually make money from Chanel. The first way that I'm going to be talking about actually has to do with the price increases, and this is the method that will actually take the longest time to do as well. So what I'm talking about is actually buying Chanel now and reselling it down the road to make a profit. So what this means is if you buy a Chanel today, because of the constant price increases that are always happening, you could theoretically resell your Chanel at a higher value years down the road, and if you've kept it in good condition. Now, the one thing I will have to say about this is there is a method to this. So what I would say is actually the most effective method if you want to go down this route is buying a bag pre-loved and then holding on to it for years and years and then trying to sell it at a higher price than you bought it from pre-loved. The reason why I think this is the best method is because you can already get a pretty good price when you buy stuff pre-loved. I've actually come up with a couple examples that I will link below, but I did find the Chanel Jumbo on Fashion File that was being sold for $5,700. Now at the time that I'm filming this video before the price increases, this is actually about $500 cheaper than a Chanel Jumbo before tax if you had bought it retail price. So let's say you bought the Chanel Jumbo Classic Flap in 2020 for $5,700. Now let's say you held on to that bag. Yes, you still used it, but you kept it in really good condition. There's no significant damage to the bag, and you keep it in your collection until, let's say, 2025. Now at the rate that Chanel is increasing their prices, I honestly believe that a Chanel Jumbo could be about like $9,000 once you buy it retail price. I mean, with the Chanel price increases this year, it's rumored to be 7,000 something, and after tax really close to 8,000. So I truly believe the Chanel Jumbo is going to get there around the $9,000 mark. Now let's say come 2025 you are ready to sell it. I would say you probably could put your Chanel Jumbo on the resale market for about $6,000 or maybe a little bit more if the condition is really good. And in that case, you've made a couple $100s in profit. Now, I wouldn't suggest, putting all of your money in Chanel bags just to hope that you make a profit a few years later. I don't believe handbags are an investment in that sense, but I do believe that these bags retain their value, and if anything, you can definitely get your money back if you are careful with your handbag, if you take good care of it, and if you wait long enough, and most importantly, if you choose a bag that's classic and not trendy. With Chanel, I feel like even their like seasonal pieces and stuff are more classic than a lot of fashion houses out there, so I feel like with Chanel you are a little bit safer, but just use your best judgment when it comes to classic looking bags. It doesn't necessarily have to be, a classic medium or jumbo or small, but just keep the classic elements of Chanel in mind if you are looking to retain its value and possibly sell it later down the line. Now, like I said, this is the most time consuming option out of all 3 options that I'm going to present to you today because you do have to wait a significant amount of time. Now, I don't have examples of doing this personally in my own collection, but I wanted to talk to you guys about this vintage flap that I have, and it is this classic medium flap right here. So this is actually a 2 series, which is about 1990 to 1992, and I was doing a little bit of research, and in that time the Chanel classic medium flap was going for about $1,100. I know. It's insane compared to the price today. The price today in 2019, before the price increases, as far as I know, is $5,800. So huge increase. Now I believe this one actually has been passed down or resold several different times, but I'm just imagining if I was the original owner who bought this bag in 1992, let's say, and I bought it for $1,100. In 2019, when I actually bought this bag, it was being sold for about $2,500. Yes, it's still a very low price because the condition of the bag isn't that great. I mean, it is almost 30 years old, so you can see a lot has changed with the bag, but still, having used the bag for 30 years and then on top of that having gained $1,000 in profit, I think is amazing. I mean, just the investment in the time alone I think is already worth it, but the fact that this person could have sold it for $1,000 more than the price she bought it at, I just think is incredible. Now that was probably an extreme example because the bag was so old, but I feel like that is a really good real life example about how Chanel actually retains its value. Alright, the second method that I'm going to be talking about, I've actually personally done this myself, and that is buying an old damaged Chanel bag, getting it fixed, and reselling it for a higher price than you bought it from. So although I would say that Chanel bags are very durable because of the quality and they are just made very, very well, they do get damaged sometimes if you don't take care of them. And a lot of the times you can actually find these damaged bags being sold secondhand for a really, really good price. And what's great about that is that there are so many companies out there that actually restore leather handbags and can restore your damaged Chanel to basically brand new, and you would only have to pay a fraction of the price. Now I believe this method is the cheapest route that you can take, but it does take the most effort and it is a little bit risky since you do have to, you know, repair an entire bag. Now, I actually created a whole blog post about this years ago, and I will link it down below for you because none of the information has changed. So in 2018, I bought my first jumbo flap from a consignment store called Opulent Habits, and I bought this Chanel jumbo for $3,600. I know, insane. But the catch was, it was highly damaged. So it was a pink Chanel jumbo from 2013, I believe, but the bag was so washed out and so damaged from the sun that it looked like completely white, or it looked kind of beigey. It actually had this weird ombre effect where like the front of it was really white, but then when you opened it up it was really pink inside. It was just completely damaged in my opinion. So I decided to buy the bag for $3,600, and then I decided to email Leather Surgeons, which is a company here based in the US. They have a great reputation here. I've used them several times, so if you are looking to do this method and you are in the US, I highly suggest Leather Surgeons. Now I had emailed them and I sent them all of the pictures of the bag and asked what they could do, and they emailed me back pretty quickly and said that for $275 they could restore it back to brand new. I was so excited because that would mean for $875 I could have a brand new Chanel jumbo. Crazy, right? So I decided to go through with it. The process took about 2 weeks to get done. It was really quick, and they did an amazing job. The bag looked so good afterwards. It looked pretty much brand new. Now I will say though, if your bag does need to be recolored, the recoloring process does change the texture of the bag a little bit. So I could definitely tell just by touching it that it wasn't as smooth as it was before. So keep that in mind if you are looking to, you know, recolor or re-dye a handbag. So I had actually intended to keep that bag in my collection. However, I ended up finding another bag that I liked even more, and I actually decided to sell my Chanel jumbo that I had got restored. I don't remember exactly how much I sold it for, but I do believe it was around somewhere in between $4,000 and $5,000. So I did gain a profit of a couple $100 even after calculating the fact that I had to get it restored. Pretty amazing. I was super happy about that. You could probably do this with other brands as well, but I just feel like there's something about Chanel quality that, you know, really withstands the test of time, and I do feel like it's a better investment if you go with Chanel compared to other luxury brands out there. Now the last method that I'm going to be talking about is a little bit controversial, and that is buying a really popular bag brand new retail price and selling it over retail price. So the one example that comes immediately to mind is the iridescent collection from 2019 that was released last year. Now this bag was so highly sought after in all of the sizes, yes, but I feel like the small size for some reason was the most popular size. I saw a lot of people do this on Instagram, whether it be consignment stores or even personal accounts, but they were buying this bag brand new from the boutique and selling it over retail price. At the time, the small Chanel Classic flap cost about $5,000, you know, plus tax in store, and I was seeing it being sold on the secondhand market. Literally at the same time, it was being sold in stores for $1,000 over retail, for $600 over retail. And that was because the people who had the connections that were able to buy the bags in store were buying the bags retail price in store, only to flip them and sell them immediately for a couple $100 more or $1,000 more on the resale market. So obviously you could see why this is controversial. A lot of people think that it's unfair that people do this. However, I can kind of see it and I get it, because there is a market for people who want to buy these kinds of bags, and they are hard to find in store if you don't have connections. You are kind of paying for like the accessibility of the bags, I guess. It's kind of iffy because I see it both ways. Now recently this has happened a couple of times that I can think of. So one with the Chanel iridescent collection, two, that Chanel pearly flap bag, I think that happened too, although that did come out with the same collection. So this does happen pretty often, you guys. And even now those bags are still really popular, and they are still being sold higher than retail price if you look at them on the secondhand market. The reason why I think this is really risky is, one, it's super hard to predict what is just going to blow up. Like for some reason the small size blew up in the iridescent collection, and I don't know who could have predicted that. So you really have to be like quick on the trends and really try to predict what people are buying. Otherwise you could buy a really expensive bag, not even like it yourself, and then not be able to make a profit off of it. So it's really risky. I really don't recommend this way, but it is a method that you can do if you are willing to take that risk, because the reward is there, and I truly believe that you could make a substantial amount of money really fast if you have these means. So that was my thoughts on the 3 ways that you can actually make money from Chanel. Now let's talk about the Chanel price increases and what I think about them. I'm only going to briefly talk about this because I didn't even want to make a video on this, but a lot of people were messaging me on Instagram wanting to know my thoughts, and I get it because Chanel has always been doing this. From my research on this video, I saw that, you know, Chanel bags were being sold for about $1,000 in 1990, and in 2020 the price is now $7,000, and it's gradually increased every single year in between. It's kind of inevitable, and this is just something Chanel always does. This is actually the reason why we are able to make videos like this talking about resale value, because the value of Chanel bags always goes up, and that is partly due to price increases. It's just how it is. Do I agree with it? Do I like it? Of course not. I don't like having to spend more money on something that I could have bought cheaper. However, I do understand that this is just how it works, and that is why we have this incredible resale market to begin with. I am fortunate enough that my job actually, you know, picked up in the past couple of years, and I was able to save enough money to start buying Chanel bags. I kind of hurried up and bought all the Chanel bags that I could in the past couple of years, and now I feel like I don't really need any more, so the price increases probably aren't going to affect me negatively that much. There are maybe like 1 or 2 more Chanel bags that I do want to add to my collection, but yes, I just don't see myself adding, you know, that many more Chanel pieces. Speaking of which, I am planning to do a Chanel collection video coming up, so stay tuned for that if you actually want to see all the pieces that I have from Chanel. But yeah, that is just my 2 cents about it. Yes, it definitely sucks, but it's inevitable, and I'm just, you know, so grateful and so lucky and thankful that I do already have all the pieces in my collection. Now, I know the other question I'm going to get is if I have any advice for people wanting to start a Chanel collection in this day and age. My ultimate advice that I can give you is just keep saving, just be patient, and go the pre-loved route. I think you honestly should go the pre-loved route and find a really good deal, because that is where your money is going to have the most impact. And I still truly believe that you can buy Chanel for decent prices on the pre-loved route. So yeah, that was all for my video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I would love to have a discussion about this and know what you guys are thinking. If you did like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel, because I do make a lot of handbag related videos, a lot of informative handbag related videos. So if that's your thing, you will definitely want to subscribe. And alright, I hope that you guys are staying healthy and safe out there, and I will see you next time. Bye!